Part 1. The Galactic Council's Complacency. Massive crystal dome of Zelthara Prime sparkled like a jewel against the purple sky. Inside the floating citadel, 12 different alien species gathered around a circular table that hummed with energy. The weekly meeting of the Galactic Council was about to begin. Just like it had for the past 3,000 years, Commander Vexthal adjusted his breathing apparatus and stood up. His scaled green skin caught the light from the crystal walls. As he activated the holographic display in the center of the table, the Caridian Empire had always been good at gathering information, and today he had something new to share. Fellow council members, Vexthal began, his voice translated instantly into 12 different languages. We have discovered another species in the Outer Rim territories. They call themselves humans. A collective sigh echoed through the chamber. Council member Zafira from the Veshan Collective rolled her 4 purple eyes. Her butterfly-like wings fluttered with annoyance as she spoke. Another primitive species? How many does that make this cycle? 15? 20? This one is different, Vexthal continued, ignoring her sarcasm. They have achieved basic space travel. Their home planet is called Earth, located in what they term the Sol System. Admiral Corvin of the Nexus Federation leaned forward in his floating chair. His metallic face showed no emotion, but his optical sensors focused intently on the display. Show us what they have accomplished. The hologram shifted to show crude spacecraft launching from a blue and green planet. The ships looked primitive compared to the sleek vessels that filled galactic space lanes. They moved slowly, burning chemical fuel and leaving trails of exhaust behind them. Look at those engines, laughed War Commander Zixtal, his insect-like mandibles clicking together. They still use combustion technology. My ancestors abandoned such methods 5,000 years ago. Several other council members joined in the laughter. Councillor Meltara of the Andorian hegemony shook her crystalline head. They build their ships like weapons of war. No elegance, no grace, just metal boxes with engines attached. Vexthal waited for the laughter to die down before continuing. Our surveillance indicates they have recently established permanent settlements on their moon and begun mining operations in their asteroid belt. They show remarkable adaptability for such a young species. Adaptability means nothing without wisdom, Zafira replied. Have they discovered faster-than-light travel? No, but our scientists believe they are close to a breakthrough. Their theoretical physicists have begun working with quantum mechanics and space-time manipulation. Admiral Corvin's optical sensors dimmed slightly, the equivalent of closing his eyes in thought. Their progress seems unusually rapid. Most species take millennia to advance from planetary exploration to asteroid mining. Rapid, perhaps, but still primitive, War Commander Zixtal interjected. Their largest ship carries fewer than 200 individuals. Our scout vessels carry 3 times that number. The hologram changed again, showing human settlements on their moon and Mars. The structures looked functional but basic, like children building with blocks compared to the flowing, organic architecture preferred by most galactic civilizations. Supreme Arbiter Kalanara, the ancient leader of the Council, finally spoke. Her voice carried the weight of 10,000 years of experience. What is their social structure? Do they have a unified government? Vexthal consulted his datapad. They remain divided into numerous nation-states, though they have established some cooperative organizations for space exploration. Their largest space program is run by a nation called the United States of America. Fragmented leadership, noted Councillor Meltara. They waste resources competing with each other instead of working together? Typical of young civilizations? Their military technology is surprisingly advanced for their developmental stage, Vexthal added. They have nuclear weapons and guided missile systems. Some of their aircraft can travel at supersonic speeds. Nuclear weapons? Zafira's wings fluttered with amusement. How wonderfully barbaric. They will probably destroy themselves before they become a concern. Admiral Corvin studied the display more carefully. Their military focus is concerning. Most species develop peaceful technologies first, then adapt them for defense. These humans seem to have done the opposite. It matters little, Supreme Arbiter Kalanara declared. They are contained within their own system and lack the technology to threaten anyone beyond their immediate neighbors. We will follow standard protocol. Standard observation procedures then? Asked Vexthal. Correct. Station a monitoring post at the edge of their system. Record their progress but do not interfere. If they develop faster than light travel, we will make contact according to the first contact protocols established by our predecessors. War Commander Zixtile's mandibles clicked impatiently. Why waste resources watching them at all? They are decades away from becoming relevant to galactic affairs. Because vigilance is the price of peace, Admiral Corvin replied. We have learned from history that unexpected developments can reshape the galaxy. Better to watch and be surprised by nothing than to ignore and be surprised by everything. Zephyra laughed, a sound like wind chimes in a gentle breeze. You worry too much, Admiral. What could one small planet of primitive warriors possibly do to threaten a galactic civilization that spans 12 star systems? The Supreme Arbiter raised one ancient hand for silence. The motion is settled. Commander Vexthal, establish your monitoring station and provide monthly reports. Council Member Zephyra, your people will provide the observation equipment. Admiral Corvin, the Nexus Federation will supply the personnel. As the meeting moved on to other business, none of the council members gave much thought to the primitive humans and their crude spacecraft. They had seen dozens of species just like them over the millennia. Most destroyed themselves through war or environmental damage. The few that survived eventually joined the galactic community as junior members, grateful for the guidance of their more advanced neighbors. Far away in the Sol system, a man named Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of a ship that officially did not exist. The UHS Vengeance hung in the shadow of one of Jupiter's moons, its experimental engines powered down and its hull configured to look like a simple mining platform. Morrison had no idea that alien eyes were already watching his solar system. He was too busy reviewing the test results from their new plasma cannon systems and studying reports about breakthrough developments in shield technology. In hidden facilities across Earth and its colonies, human scientists and engineers worked on projects that would have terrified the Galactic Council if they had known such things were possible. The aliens believed they understood humanity based on what they could see. They had made their first critical mistake. They assumed that what humans showed the universe was all that humans possessed. Time would prove them catastrophically wrong. Part 2. First contact goes wrong. 3 months had passed since the Galactic Council established their monitoring station at the edge of the Sol system. Sub-Commander Thax of the Caridian Empire Patrol Fleet floated in his command chair, studying the readouts from his ship's sensors. His patrol consisted of 5 vessels, each one capable of destroying a small moon if necessary. Today should have been routine. Patrol the outer rim, check for illegal mining operations, and file a report. Nothing ever happened in this quiet sector of space. The humans were still confined to their inner system, playing with their primitive rockets and metal ships. Sub-Commander, called Navigation Officer Krell from his station. We have detected an unknown vessel in the Kepler 442 system. It appears to be human in origin. Thax's scaled eyebrows rose in surprise. Human? That is impossible. Our intelligence reports indicate they lack faster-than-light capability. Confirmed, sir. The ship is broadcasting identification signals consistent with human technology. They call themselves the research vessel Darwin's Dream. Thax activated his communication system. This is Sub-Commander Thax of the Caridian Imperial Fleet. Unknown vessel, you have violated galactic territory. Prepare to be escorted back to your home system. The response came quickly, translated by their universal communication array. The voice belonged to a female human. This is Dr. Elena Rodriguez, commanding the research vessel Darwin's Dream. We are conducting mineral surveys in this system under the authority of the United Earth Colonial Administration. We were not aware this system was claimed by any galactic power. Thax studied the ship on his main display. It looked exactly like the crude human vessels they had observed before. A basic cylindrical hull with engines at the back and what appeared to be mining equipment attached to the sides. Nothing threatening about it at all. Dr. Rodriguez, this system falls under the protection of the Galactic Council. Your species has not yet been granted permission to explore beyond your home system. You must return immediately. There was a pause before the human responded. Sub-Commander Thax, with respect, we recognize no authority over free space. We are peaceful explorers seeking knowledge and resources to benefit all humanity. We pose no threat to anyone. Thax's mandibles clicked with annoyance, typical primitive arrogance. They always thought they could do whatever they wanted until someone more powerful showed them otherwise. Dr. Rodriguez, you will comply with Galactic Council regulations, or we will escort you back by force. This is your final warning. I understand your position, Sub-Commander, but I'm afraid we cannot comply with your demands. The transmission ended abruptly. Thax stared at his display in disbelief. No species had ever refused a direct order from the Caridian Imperial Fleet. These humans were either very brave or very stupid. Tactical Officer Vex, prepare to disable their engines with a low-power plasma burst. We will tow them back to their system and let the Council decide their fate. Yes, Sub-Commander, targeting their propulsion system now. Thax watched as his tactical officer acquired the target. The human ship continued its mining operations, apparently oblivious to the 5 warships surrounding it. He almost felt sorry. For them, they had no idea how outmatched they were. Fire when ready, Vex. The plasma bolt lanced out from the Caridian ship, a precise shot designed to disable without destroying. It should have knocked out the human vessel's engines and left them helpless. Instead, something impossible happened. A shimmering barrier appeared around the human ship, absorbing the plasma bolt completely. The energy disappeared without leaving so much as a scorch mark on the hull. What just happened? Thax demanded. Tactical Officer Vex checked his instruments frantically. Sir, they appear to have some kind of defensive shield. The energy signature is unlike anything in our databases. Before Thax could respond, the human ship began to change. The crude mining equipment folded away, revealing sleek weapon ports. Along the hull, the basic cylindrical shape transformed as hidden armor plating extended outward. Within seconds, the harmless research vessel had become something that looked distinctly military. This is Captain Lisa Harper, United Earth Defense Force. Dr. Rodriguez was correct that we are conducting research, but I am the military commander of this mission. You have fired upon a peaceful exploration vessel. Stand down immediately. Thax felt his blood chill. The voice was different now, harder and more confident. This was not a scientist anymore. This was a warrior. Impossible, he whispered. Our intelligence reports indicated no military presence in human space exploration. Your intelligence reports were incomplete, Captain Harper replied. We do not advertise our defensive capabilities to potential threats. However, since you have chosen to attack us, I am authorized to defend this mission. The human ship's weapon ports began to glow with a blue-white energy that Thax had never seen before. His sensors were detecting power levels that should have been impossible for a ship that size. All ships, attack pattern Delta. Destroy that vessel before it can escape, Thax ordered. 5 Caridian warships opened fire simultaneously, their plasma cannons creating a web of destruction that should have vaporized any target. The human ship danced between the energy bolts. With impossible grace, its movements too quick and precise for something that large. How are they moving like that? Navigation Officer Krell shouted over the alarms. The human ship spun on its axis and returned fire. Blue-white beams erupted from its weapon ports, striking 2 Caridian vessels with devastating accuracy. The first ship's shields collapsed instantly, its hull torn open by the alien energy. The second ship lost its entire forward section, its crew compartments venting atmosphere into space. Shields at 40%, Tactical Officer Vex reported. Sir, their weapons are cutting through our defenses like they were not there. Thax watched in horror as the human ship continued its impossible dance, avoiding their fire while delivering precise, devastating strikes. Another Caridian vessel exploded as human weapons found its reactor core. This is Captain Harper. Cease your attack immediately, or I will destroy the remainder of your fleet. This is your only warning. Thax looked at his tactical display. 3 of his 5 ships were gone. The remaining 2, including his own, were badly damaged. The human vessel showed no signs of damage despite being outnumbered 5-1 moments earlier. All ships withdraw immediately, he ordered, his voice shaking as the surviving Caridian vessels limped away from the battle. Thax stared at the human ship on his rear display. It had resumed its innocent research vessel configuration, as if the devastating combat capability had never existed. Sub-Commander, Communications Officer Nal said quietly, "What do we tell Command about this?" Thax closed his eyes, knowing that his report would change everything. The primitive humans were not primitive at all. They had technology that surpassed anything the Galactic Council possessed, and they had been hiding it perfectly. "We tell them the truth," he said finally. "We tell them that everything we thought we knew about humanity was wrong. And we tell them that the galaxy has a new player, one that plays by rules we do not understand." The patrol fleet jumped to faster than light speed, carrying news that would shake the foundations of galactic civilization. Part 3. The intelligence report that changed everything. The emergency session of the Galactic Council had been called at the highest priority level. Council members who had been scattered across 12-star systems dropped everything to return. To Zelthara Prime, the crystal dome buzzed with nervous energy as representatives took their places around the circular table. Supreme Arbiter Kalanara floated into the chamber, her ancient form showing signs of stress that had not been present in centuries. The emergency beacon from Sub-Commander Thax had contained only 3 words: "Humans are dangerous." "Council members," Kalanara began, her voice carrying across the chamber, "we have received disturbing intelligence from our monitoring operations in the Sol system. Sub-Commander Thax has requested immediate transport to brief us personally." The holographic communicator in the center of the table activated, showing the scarred face of the Caridian officer. His breathing apparatus had been damaged, and medical bandages covered several wounds on his scaled skin. "Sub-Commander, report your status," Commander Vexful ordered. "Sir, 3 of my 5 ships have been destroyed. 2 more are badly damaged. We encountered a human vessel in the Kepler 442 system and engaged in combat." A collective gasp echoed through the chamber. Council member Zephyra's wings fluttered in disbelief. "Combat? With humans? Sub-Commander, are you suffering from trauma-induced hallucinations?" Thax's eyes hardened. "One wish I were, Council member. The humans are not what we believe them to be. They possess military technology that far exceeds our current capabilities." Security. Chief Melandra of the Zephyrian hegemony leaned forward, her crystalline features reflecting skepticism. "Sub-Commander, you commanded a patrol fleet equipped with the finest weapons in the galaxy. Are you telling us that a single primitive human vessel destroyed 3 Caridian warships?" "That is exactly what I am telling you, Security Chief. The human ship appeared to be a harmless research vessel, but it transformed before our eyes into something we have never encountered before." Admiral Corvin's optical sensors focused intently on the display. "Show us the battle recordings." The hologram shifted to display footage from Thax's ship. The council members watched in stunned silence as the human research vessel revealed hidden weapons and defensive systems. They saw the impossible maneuvers, the devastating blue-white energy beams, and the systematic destruction of ships that should have been invincible. "This is impossible," War Commander Zixtel whispered, his mandibles clicking nervously. "Their energy signatures are completely unknown. What kind of power source generates that much energy?" "Our technical analysis teams are still studying the data," Thax replied. "Preliminary reports suggest they are using controlled quantum reactions, but the specific methods are beyond our understanding." Counselor Meltara of the Andorian hegemony shook her crystalline head slowly. "Their defensive shields absorbed our most powerful plasma bolts without even flickering. How is that possible?" "We believe they have developed some form of adaptive barrier technology," Thax continued. Our weapons appeared to be completely ineffective against their defenses. Security Chief Melandra stood up abruptly, her form shimmering with agitation. Sub-Commander, you are describing technology that violates several known principles of physics. Adaptive shields require processing power that no ship-based computer system can provide. Then they have solved problems we considered unsolvable, Thax replied grimly. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. For 3,000 years, the Galactic Council had maintained peace through superior technology and overwhelming force. The idea that a primitive species could develop capabilities beyond their understanding was terrifying. Admiral Corvin was the first to speak. Sub-Commander, you mentioned the ship transformed. Can you describe this process in detail? The vessel appeared to be a standard research configuration when we first encountered it. Mining equipment, survey sensors, basic hull construction. When we opened fire, the mining equipment folded away to reveal weapon ports. Additional armor plating extended from hidden compartments. The entire transformation took less than 30 seconds. Modular ship design, mused Counselor Meltara. They disguise military vessels as civilian craft. Clever, but hardly revolutionary. The revolution is in the technology itself, Thax emphasized. Their weapons cut through our shields like they were not there. Their engines allowed maneuvers that should have torn their ship apart. Their power systems generated more energy than ships 10 times their size. Council member Zephyr's voice carried a note of panic. If one research vessel can destroy half a patrol fleet, what can their dedicated warships accomplish? Supreme! Arbiter Kalanara raised her hand for silence. Sub-Commander, did you attempt diplomatic contact before engaging? Yes, Supreme Arbiter. The human commander, Captain Lisa Harper, identified herself as United Earth Defense Force. She warned us that our intelligence about their capabilities was incomplete. United Earth Defense Force, Admiral Corvin repeated. That implies organized military coordination across their entire planet. Our previous intelligence suggested they remained fragmented into competing nation-states. It appears our intelligence was deliberately misled, Thax replied. The humans have been concealing their true capabilities while we observed them. War Commander Zixtile began pacing around the chamber, his insectoid legs clicking against the crystal floor. They have been preparing for contact while appearing primitive. This suggests long-term strategic planning and deception capabilities we did not anticipate. The question now is what other surprises they have prepared, Security Chief Melandra added. If their research vessels carry such advanced weapons, what do their actual military installations possess? Admiral Corvin studied the technical readouts from the battle. These energy patterns suggest they have made breakthrough discoveries in several fields simultaneously. Quantum mechanics, materials science, propulsion technology, weapons development. Such rapid advancement across multiple disciplines is unprecedented. Unless they had help, Council member Zephyra suggested. Could another galactic power be secretly supporting them? Negative, Commander Vexthal replied after consulting his intelligence reports. Our monitoring networks would have detected any outside interference. The humans appear to have achieved these advances independently. The chamber erupted in heated discussion as the council members tried to process the implications. Some argued for immediate diplomatic contact to prevent further misunderstandings. Others pushed for military action. Before humanity could develop even more dangerous capabilities, Supreme Arbiter Kalanara called for order. The evidence is clear. Humanity represents a potential threat to galactic stability. We must decide how to respond before they advance further. What did Captain Harper say after the battle? Admiral Corvin asked. Thax consulted his notes. She allowed us to withdraw without pursuit. Her final transmission stated that humanity sought peaceful coexistence but would defend themselves against any aggression. They could have destroyed your remaining ships but chose not to, Kalanara observed. This suggests they are not inherently hostile, merely well-prepared. Or it suggests they wanted us to carry this message back to you, War Commander Zixtal countered. A demonstration of power designed to make us fear them. The debate continued for hours, but one thing had become clear to every council member. The galaxy had changed forever. Humanity was no longer a primitive species to be ignored or guided. They were a new power with unknown capabilities and uncertain intentions. The age of Galactic Council supremacy was ending, whether they were ready or not. Part 4. The Battleship Revelation 2 weeks after the Emergency Council session. The largest intelligence operation in galactic history was underway. Admiral Corvin stood on the bridge of the stealth cruiser Silent Observer, watching his instruments. Tracked the movement of 37 different reconnaissance vessels. Each ship represented the finest technology from the 12-member civilizations of the Galactic Council. "Admiral, we are approaching the outer edge of the Sol system," reported Navigation Officer Tamara. "All stealth systems are operating at maximum efficiency." Corvin nodded, his metallic face reflecting the dim light of the bridge displays. "Maintain safe distance from their monitoring stations. We know they have at least one operational facility, but we cannot assume it is their only sensor network." The fleet had traveled for days using their most advanced cloaking technology. Quantum distortion fields, gravitic dampeners, and electromagnetic scramblers all worked together to make the ships invisible to conventional detection methods. If the humans possessed sensors capable of piercing these defenses, the galaxy was in more trouble than anyone imagined. "Sir, we are detecting multiple human installations throughout the system," called Intelligence Officer Zaleth from her station. "The number of active facilities has increased significantly since our last survey." "Show me," Corvin ordered. The main display activated, showing a three-dimensional map of the Sol system. Red dots marked human installations on their moon, Mars, several asteroids, and the moons of the outer planets. The sheer number of facilities was staggering. "How many operational bases are we detecting?" Corvin asked. 47 confirmed installations, Admiral. 15 appear to be civilian mining or research facilities. The remaining 32 show energy signatures consistent with military applications. Corvin studied the display carefully. They have militarized their entire system in less than 5 years. Such rapid expansion should be impossible for a species at their technological level. "Sir, we are detecting unusual readings from the lunar installations," Intelligence Officer Zaleth reported. "The power consumption levels are enormous, far exceeding what their apparent functions should require. Focus our sensors on those installations. I want to know what they are hiding." The reconnaissance fleet moved deeper into the system, their stealth technology straining against increasingly sophisticated human sensor networks. Corvin watched nervously as his ships navigated between patrol routes that suggested the humans were very aware of the possibility of surveillance. "Admiral, we have a problem," Navigation Officer Tamara announced. "Human patrol ships are using scanning patterns that seem designed to detect cloaked vessels." "They are not scanning randomly." "Explain." "Their sensors are focusing on areas where cloaked ships would most likely hide. Asteroid fields, gas giant rings, solar interference zones. It is as if they know we are here." Corvin felt a chill run through his mechanical systems. "Continue the mission, but be prepared for immediate withdrawal if we are detected." The fleet pressed on, using every trick they knew to remain hidden. As they approached the inner system, the true scope of human development became clear. The moon was covered with installations that connected to form a massive integrated complex. Energy readings suggested manufacturing capabilities that rivaled anything in galactic space. "Sir, you need to see this." Intelligence Officer Zaleth called urgently. The display focused on a facility hidden on the far side of Earth's moon. At first glance, it appeared to be another mining operation, but closer examination revealed something terrifying. The facility was hollow, designed to conceal something enormous. "What are we looking at?" Corvin demanded. "It appears to be a construction facility, Admiral. Our sensors are detecting massive energy signatures from inside the complex." Suddenly, the facility began to open. Massive doors that had been camouflaged to look like crater walls slowly separated, revealing the interior. What the alien observers saw defied all their assumptions about human capabilities. By the ancient stars? Whispered Navigation Officer TEM single quotes era. Inside the hidden facility sat the largest warship any of them had ever seen. The vessel dwarfed the reconnaissance fleet's cruisers, stretching nearly 2 kilometers from bow to stern. Its hull was covered with weapon ports that could have armed an entire battle group. Most terrifying of all, the ship was nearly complete. Admiral, the energy readings from that vessel are impossible. Intelligence Officer Zaleth reported, her voice shaking. Our sensors detect power systems that should not exist. Corvin studied the massive ship through their most powerful telescopes. The hull design incorporated technologies that violated several understood principles of physics. The main cannon alone was larger than most ships in the galactic fleet. Can you identify the propulsion system? He asked. Negative, sir. The energy patterns are unlike anything in our databases. However, the power output suggests faster-than-light capability far exceeding our own vessels. As they watched, human workers moved around the giant ship like tiny insects. Construction vehicles the size of buildings maneuvered massive components into place. The scale of the operation was staggering. Sir, we are detecting personnel on the vessel's bridge, Intelligence Officer Zaleth announced. It appears to be operational despite still being under construction. The display zoomed in on the ship's command section where figures in human, military uniforms could be seen moving through corridors lined with control systems. Even from this distance, it was clear that the vessel was not just a construction project, but an active military installation. Admiral, incoming transmission from Reconnaissance Group 7, Communications Officer Nelter reported. They have discovered additional facilities throughout the system. Similar energy signatures, similar construction patterns. Corvin's optical sensors dimmed as he processed this information. How many similar facilities? 12 confirmed locations, sir. All hidden within apparent civilian installations. All showing signs of major construction projects. The implications were staggering. Humanity was not building one massive warship, but an entire fleet of vessels that could individually challenge the combined forces of the Galactic Council. Sir, the main weapon on that ship, Intelligence Officer Zaleth said quietly, our analysis suggests it draws power from controlled microsingularities. Corvin turned sharply toward her station. That is impossible. Microsingularity technology was abandoned by all civilized species millennia ago. The risks are too great. Nevertheless, the energy patterns are consistent with controlled black hole manipulation. If that assessment is correct, the weapon's destructive potential is beyond calculation. The reconnaissance fleet continued to observe as more details became clear. The massive ship was designated UHS Retribution according to markings on its hull. Human crew members moved with the confidence of people operating familiar technology, suggesting this was not their first such vessel. Admiral, we have identified the commanding officer, Intelligence Officer Zaleth reported. Captain Alex Rodriguez, according to intercepted communications. Military record indicates extensive experience with advanced weapon systems. Corvin watched as the human captain moved through the ship's bridge, checking systems and conferring with other officers. The ease with which they operated such advanced technology was perhaps more frightening than the technology itself. Sir, recommend immediate withdrawal, Navigation Officer Tamara urged. If they detect our presence while we are observing their most classified military installation, the diplomatic consequences could be severe. Agreed. All ships begin withdrawal to safe distance. Maintain stealth protocols until we are outside their sensor range. As the reconnaissance fleet retreated from the Sol system, Corvin compiled his report for the Galactic Council. Humanity had not just advanced beyond their expectations, they had revolutionized warfare itself. The massive battleship represented a paradigm shift that would reshape the balance of power in the galaxy. The humans were no longer a primitive species to be managed. They were a technological superpower preparing for something that none of the galactic civilizations were ready to face. Part 5. Galactic paradigm shift. The crystal dome of Zelthara Prime had never witnessed such chaos. Council members shouted across the chamber in 12 different languages while holographic displays showed Admiral Corvin's reconnaissance footage on endless loop. The massive human battleship rotated slowly on the main screen, its weapon ports glowing with threatening energy. Supreme Arbiter Kellanara struggled to maintain order as the debate raged around her. 3,000 years of galactic peace were crumbling before her ancient eyes. The carefully balanced power structure that had maintained stability across 12 star systems was about to collapse. "Order!" she commanded, her voice amplified throughout the chamber. "We will address this crisis with the dignity befitting our positions." War Commander Zixtel ignored her call for calm, his insectoid form clicking agitatedly as he paced the chamber floor. "Dignity will not protect us from micro-singularity weapons. These humans have developed technology that could sterilize entire worlds, which is precisely why we must avoid provocation," Admiral Corvin replied from his position at the tactical display. "Any aggressive action could trigger a conflict that destroys galactic civilization." Council member Zephyra's wings fluttered with panic as she spoke. "You saw the footage, Admiral. They have at least 12 facilities building ships of similar size. How do we negotiate with a species that can destroy our combined fleets?" Security Chief Melandra projected new intelligence data into the center of the chamber. "Our analysis teams have completed their assessment. The human battleship designated Retribution possesses firepower equivalent to our entire 7th Battle Fleet. If they have 12 such vessels, they can challenge the combined military forces of all member civilizations. They are not our enemies," insisted Counselor Meltara, her crystalline form reflecting the chamber's light. Captain Harper allowed Sub-Commander Thax to withdraw when she could have destroyed his remaining ships. "This suggests they prefer diplomatic solutions." War Commander Zixtel spun to face her, mandibles clicking furiously. "Or it suggests they wanted us to know their capabilities. The humans have been deceiving us from the beginning, hiding their true nature behind a facade of primitive exploration. The deception itself demonstrates sophisticated strategic thinking," Admiral Corvin observed. "They allowed us to believe we were observing a developing civilization while they secretly achieved technological superiority. Such long-term planning indicates remarkable intelligence and patience." Commander Vexville activated a new holographic display showing intercepted human communications. "Our listening posts have detected increased activity throughout their system. Military vessels are moving to new positions, and their defense installations are powering up additional weapon systems." "They know we were watching them," Security Chief Melandra concluded grimly. "Our reconnaissance mission was detected despite using our finest stealth technology." Supreme Arbiter Kellanara studied the tactical displays surrounding her floating chair. The situation was unlike anything in galactic history. Never before had a single species achieved such rapid technological advancement or possessed the capability to challenge the established order. "What are our options?" she asked quietly. War Commander Zixtel stopped pacing and faced the assembly. "We must strike immediately before they can deploy their full fleet. Coordinate attacks on their construction facilities and destroy their shipyards. It is our only chance to prevent them from achieving total dominance." "That would be genocide," Admiral Corvin replied coldly. "We would be attacking a species that has made no aggressive moves against galactic civilization. They destroyed 3 Caridian warships after we fired upon them first," Counselor Meltara pointed out. Sub-Commander Thax admitted that he initiated hostilities. The humans acted in self-defense. Council member Zephyra stood up from her chair, wings spread wide in distress. "Self-defense with weapons that violate the fundamental laws of physics? How do we know they will not use such power to conquer the galaxy?" "Because they have not done so already," Admiral Corvin answered. "If conquest was their goal, they could have begun systematic attacks on our border worlds. Instead, they remain within their own system, apparently content to continue their research and development." Security Chief Melandra projected new data showing human diplomatic frequencies. "Our communication specialists have been monitoring their transmissions. They have been attempting to establish contact with our border stations for the past week." Contact? Supreme Arbiter Kalinara leaned forward with interest. What kind of contact? Standard First Contact Protocol, Supreme Arbiter. They are requesting permission to send a diplomatic mission to discuss formal relations with the Galactic Council. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. The humans were not preparing for war. They were preparing for diplomacy, Commander. Vexthal consulted his intelligence reports. The diplomatic mission would be led by their planetary leader, someone called President Margaret Collins. They are requesting safe passage for a single vessel to travel to Zelthara Prime. A single vessel, War Commander Zixtel sneered. Probably another disguised warship like their research vessel. Our sensors would detect any hidden weapons, Admiral Corvin replied. If they send a genuine diplomatic ship, we will know. And if they send a warship disguised as a diplomatic vessel? Council member Zephyra asked nervously. Then we will learn whether humanity truly seeks peace or merely wishes to demonstrate their power, Supreme Arbiter Kalinara answered. Either way, we must respond to their diplomatic overture. The debate continued for hours as council members argued over the proper response. Some supported immediate military action to eliminate the human threat before it could grow stronger. Others advocated for diplomatic engagement to avoid a catastrophic war that could destroy galactic civilization. Finally, Supreme Arbiter Kalinara called for a formal vote. All those in favor of accepting the human diplomatic mission? 6 council members raised their hands. All those opposed? 5 council members voted against the proposal. The motion passes. We will inform the humans that their diplomatic mission is welcome at Zelthara Prime. War Commander Zixtel clicked his mandibles. In frustration, you are making a terrible mistake. These humans are too dangerous to negotiate with as equals. Perhaps, Admiral Corvin replied. But they are too dangerous to fight as well. Diplomacy offers the only path that does not end in mutual destruction. 3 days later, long-range sensors detected a human vessel approaching the edge of Galactic Council space. The ship broadcast standard diplomatic identification codes and requested escort to Zelthara Prime. Unlike their military vessels, this ship made no attempt to hide its capabilities. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the UHS Vengeance, studying the alien escort ships that had arrived to guide them to the galactic capital. His ship's weapons were powered down and its defensive systems configured for peaceful contact, but every system was ready to activate at a moment's notice. Captain, we are receiving a transmission from the lead escort vessel, reported Communications Officer Katie Bell. Put them through. The alien voice was translated by their universal communication system. Captain Morrison, this is Squadron. Leader Telver of the Galactic Council Escort Service. Welcome to Council Space. Please follow our navigation beacons to Zelthara Prime. Acknowledged, Squadron Leader. The United Earth Diplomatic Mission is honored to be here. As the human ship followed its alien escorts toward the galactic capital, beings throughout the galaxy watched and waited. The meeting between President Collins and the Galactic Council would determine whether humanity joined the galactic community as partners, or reshaped it entirely through superior technology and determination. The age of human isolation was ending. What would replace it remained to be seen.